Hello friends, welcome to class. So today we are going to be drafting a basic sleeve pattern, and this basic sleeve pattern is going to have the front side and the back side. So that's what we are doing. So first I drew a line in the middle. This is a midpoint between this side and this side. That is to demarcate the both sides. Now the next thing I did was this arm side, this place now, the upper part that you're going to attach to the shoulder of the sleeve, to the shoulder of the garment, is called arm side. So that's what I did. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to determine where I'm going to mark my elbow measurement. Now for the sleeve we are working with, the length of this sleeve is 21. So now I'm going to mark the points where I will measure the bicep and the elbow measurement. Now the bicep I'm working with, because the client that owns this sleeve, or the measurement of this sleeve I'm working with, is for somebody with a shorter arm. So now the bicep, from the arm side to where the bicep measurement I'm taking is 6.5. Don't forget, it's 6.5. Now this is for somebody that is not tall. For a taller person with a longer arm, please use 7. 7 works perfectly well. Now the next point I'm going to be marking is the elbow point. That is where you measure the elbow measurement. So now if it's for a shorter person, just like the pattern I'm working with now, for a shorter person, all you need to do is just to add 6 inches, like so. You add 6 inches. But if it is for somebody with a longer arm, you add 6.5 inches. Don't forget. So I'm adding 6 inches here for the elbow. So I'm adding 6 inches. So now I will connect the points together. I will connect all the lines together. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I will just connect the lines together like so. So I'm connecting these other points also together. So I'm connecting the points together. I hope you understand. Please, if you notice any noise at the background, please just ignore. My environment is very, very noisy. So please, if you notice any noise at the background, try to ignore. So now the next point I'm going to be doing is the sleeve length. Now, like I said, the sleeve length I'm working with is 21. So I just want to mark that point, because that is where the sleeve will stop. Please ensure that whenever you are doing this, that when you're transferring this to your main fabric, you need to add allowance. You need to add allowance. Like my paper now, you notice that the paper is not straight. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So ensure you add allowance to this. If you are marking this for your sleeve, ensure you add allowance to it, please, because the allowance is what you use to bend the sleeve. So ensure you add allowance to it. So now after doing this, let me check if you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so after doing this, let me bring the paper a bit closer. So after doing this, the next thing you are going to be doing is to input the bicep measurement. Now the bicep I'm working with bicep 12 and elbow 10. That's the round circumference of your bicep, and the round circumference of your elbow, and the round circumference of your wrist. Now the bicep I'm working with, the round circumference of my bicep is 12. So that 12, this is the midpoint. So I'll input 6 inches this way, and I will input 6 inches this way. So now let me put this so that you know. So this is the bicep. I'm using B to indicate. I'm using B to indicate as the bicep. Then I'm using EL as the elbow. That is like my marker ink is drying off. Then I'm writing this place as the wrist. So WR or W, you know that is the wrist point. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So now I'm going to input the measurement. So I'm going to input, like I said, the bicep I'm working with is 12. So I'm inputting 6 this side, and I'm putting 6 this side. Now the elbow measurement I'm working with is 10. So I will input 5 this side, and I'll input 5 this side. Okay, now my client's wrist, let me work with 8. Sorry, not 9, 8. I've cancelled that. Let me work with 8. My client's, or the ribs I'm working with, because I'm just using this pattern paper to illustrate. So the wrist I'm working with is 8 inches here. 8 inches, that's 4 this side and 4 this side. Don't forget I say we are dividing the circumference into 2. So I hope you've seen what I just did now. I hope you've seen that. So now the next thing is for me to connect the points together like so. I'll just connect the points together like so. So I'm connecting the points together like so. So I'll do the same thing. I'll connect this other side together like so. You can see that. So after connecting the lines like so, we are now going to connect this point to this point. I hope you can see what I'm doing, because we need to connect from this point to this point like so. So I've connected the point. Okay, I hope you can see that. So now I've connected the points together. So now the next thing we have to do is to check from this point here to this point how many inches we have. So from this arm side point to this bicep point, the measurement I have here is 9 inches. I hope you can see. It's 9 inches. This is what I have, 9 inches. You can see 9 inches. So now we are going to be dividing this point into 4. So dividing 9 inches into 4, first let's divide 9 inches into 2 first, so that we know how to now divide it into 4. So dividing 9 inches into 2 is 4.5. 4.5. I hope you can see it's 4.5. So now I'm going to tag this side the front. I'm sorry, my marker is drying off, so I've tagged this side the front. So I'm going to divide this point to this point by 4. So now I've gotten the midpoint. So now I'm dividing 9 inches into 4. So I have to check this point again. Dividing that 4.5 into 2, what we have is 2.25. 2.25. So the 2.25 is from this point to this point. After 2 inches, this point here you're seeing, that is 2.25. After 2 inches, this other point you're seeing, that is 2.25. Now, after marking that, the next thing you need to do is, from this point to this point, this first point here, that is from here to here is 1, from here to here is 2, from here to here is 3, from here to here is 4. Now, they've one that is 4. From here to here, this one that is by the bicep, from this point to this point. From this point to this point, let me bring this closer so that you can see. Now, from this point to this point, what you need to do now is to go in by 0.5. Don't forget, 0.5, that is half inch. Go in by half inch. You can either call it 0.5 or you call it half inch. I hope you can see what I am doing. Now, in this point here, you have to come out by 0.75. Don't forget 0.75. This point before 1. See this point before 1. This is 0.75, 0.75, 0.5, 0.75 before 1. I hope you can see. So now the next thing we are going to be doing is to use our French curve and connect the points together. So I'm to connect the points together like so. I don't know what is wrong with my marker. It's giving the ink. It's like the ink is drying over. I need to get another one. So like so. I hope you can see what I've done there. So now the next thing you do is to flip this over and connect these points. Connect it from this arm side, this upper part, connect it back to this one here, like so. I hope you can see what I'm doing there, like so. So let me blend it. Trying to blend it so that okay, I just blended that. I hope you can see. So now the next thing we are going to be doing is this other part. Now you have to divide this other part by 3. This is the back. I had to get a new different marker because the other one was not giving me what I want. So now this other part now I have to divide it by 3. Now let me draw this line to be bold so that we can see what I'm doing. Okay. So now you divide this by 3. Now don't forget that from this bicep point to this arm side point is 9 inches. So dividing it by 3 will be 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3 because the value I got from here to here is 9. So dividing by 3 will be 3. So now between these 2 points, this bicep to this first point dot I mark here, what you need to do is to divide that point again by 2. That will be 1.5. That's 1.05. Now in this point of 1.05, you come in by ½ inch. That's 0.5. Don't forget, you come in by ½ inch. That's 0.5. Let me still bring this closer so that you can see. Now the next thing you are going to be doing is to come out this one from the arm side, that's the upper part, to this first point. You go out by 0.5. Don't forget 0.5. That's that mark before 1, 0.5. Oh, you can see. So now the next thing we are going to be doing, the 0.5, don't forget here. Now the next thing we are going to be doing is to connect the points together, like so. So I'm going to connect the points together, like so. I hope you can see. Then I'll flip this over. And I'll flip this over after connecting. You see how beautiful it's looking? It's looking very beautiful already. So if you look, you notice that they look different. You see the way this curve comes in here, while this other one curve went down. I hope you can see. Let me turn this like this so that you can see the beauty. You can see the beauty. Hope you can see. See how it's looking. It's looking very beautiful. So that's just that. So the next thing now is for us to cut. So if you are to cut this, make sure you add allowance to the pattern paper. Make sure you add allowance to this pattern paper. Don't forget, add allowance to the pattern paper. add allowance to the pattern paper. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget also to share it with your family and loved ones. So this is how I will cut. I'm not adding any allowance, but if you want to, since it's a pattern paper I can use for every other, I can alternate it when I'm using it for any other person. So that's why you see I did not add any allowance. You can use this to alternate to any other person, for any other person. So I'm using this. That is that. That is so the back and the front. Don't forget, this is the bicep, the elbow, and the wrist. I hope this video has been able to help you. See you in my next video. Bye.